Hello and welcome to another episode of the Top 3 Pens series. My name is Appelboom and every Monday we post a new video about the personal top 3 pens of penfluencers. If you don't want to miss out on a video, subscribe to our YouTube channel now. Today we're having a look at the top 3 fountain pens of Dr. Joseph M. Vitolo. Dr. Vitolo is known for his YouTube videos on fountain pens and cursive penmanship, for which he prefers to use really fine nibs. In this video he is going to tell us which 3 pens are his all-time favorites and why he uses Pilot Irishizuku Yamabudo ink in all of them. Make sure to have a look at Dr. Vitolo's YouTube channel after this video, or search Instagram or Facebook for Joe Vitolo and he will pop right up.
Hello folks, thank you for joining me, and a special thank you to Yost for inviting me to talk about one of my all-time favorite passions and hobbies, fountain pens. I'm going to be talking about my top 3 pens. As any of you who collect knows, that's a very difficult challenge. But I do have a favorite fountain pen. It starts with my love of fountain pens, which began back when I was a teenager. I remember being in my middle teens, was in New York City, walking past a storefront, which I can't remember what the store was, and seeing this massive pen, which at the time was the Montblanc 149, what people calling the Diplomat, and I instantly fell in love with it. I was horrified when I seen the price, because remember, I'm an unemployed teenager and here's this very expensive pen. But many years later, when I attended dental school in Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania, that memory came into my head, and I asked a buddy of mine down there, where can I see fine pens? And he told me about a store named Holst's. I think it was Holsts. I'm not even sure if it's still there, but they had the Montblanc line and the 149. So I had some of my loan money for school that was a little bit left over, and I immediately went ahead foolishly and purchased the pen, but it started a lifelong love for me. And I had a 149 with a 14 karat gold nib. Sadly, many years later, that pen was stolen, or I should say lost. I'm not quite sure which one it was. I sent it to Montblanc for some repairs, and they could not find it, but they did give me a brand new 149 with the 18 karat gold nib. The problem is, it wasn't my first one, and I think I'd pretty much get rid of all my pens if I'd only had that pen back in my collection, which then wouldn't be a collection, would it? So for me, the number 1 pen of all is going to be the Montblanc 149. I have quite a collection of these. I've got the 90th anniversary model, 75th anniversary model, a regular Montblanc 149. I have several models with an extra fine nib. I prefer very fine nibs. Those of you that follow my penmanship online know I prefer extremely thin lines. At the time I bought my first 149, I got a medium nib, and I was very much in love at that time with the smoothness of a medium Montblanc fountain pen on the right paper. But as I got into penmanship more and more, many years later, my taste turned to a much more finer point. As a matter of fact, my favorite pen points to write with are actually Japanese extra fine nibs, specifically the 21 karat Sailor EF. But I do also love writing with the Montblanc EF. It's just slightly thicker in line thickness. So that is my number 1 pen of all time. This is the one pen I would take with me if I had to give everything else up. So still very important to me, and it got me started in this lifelong passion. The next pen on the list is very unassuming. This is the Sailor regular size Pro Gear with the 21 karat extra fine nib. This little black pen has been the one that I've written most of the stuff I've posted online. Again, those of you that follow me have read some of my stuff that I posted penmanship, or what I call calligraphic penmanship. It was written with this particular pen. I've got a nice collection of these too, but this is the one I go to all the time. It's got a 21 karat extra fine point on there, and that runs finer than the Montblanc EF. The Montblanc would have to be, I believe, an extra fine to sort of be in line with this one. I no longer like ultra smooth, glossy, glassy nibs. I like a little bit of feedback on the paper. That comes from years of doing copper plate style script. That's what I'm actually originally known for. So this is my number 2 pen. And by the way, any fountain pen I own, I fill with Iroshizuku Yamabudo ink. It's the only ink I use. And sometimes people think it's because it's my favorite ink. It's just because I'm lazy and don't want to have to clean out these pens too well. And so I only use one color ink, but it is one of my favorite color inks. I'm a big wine fan as well. I love fine wine, and the Iroshizuku Yamabudo has that color of wine to it. But that's in this pen, it's in my 149s and every other pen I own. The last pen I'll talk about today, and it's hard coming up with, 3 of these pens, with the exception of the 149. But it's definitely the Leonardo pens. Any Leonardo pen. This happens to be a Momento Zero Grande with, I think this is dark Hawaii, and I had Sal make this for me with the number 8 fine nib in it. This is then, I think, 18 or 14. I'm too old to read that fine. It's either 18 or 14 karat gold. But I think Leonardo are producing some of the finest pens around today, the newer manufacturers. And with that, I'll invite you all to follow me on Facebook or Instagram. You don't have to be a friend of mine to look at my Facebook page. It's all open and public. I tend to provide a lot of materials for penmanship and ornamental penmanship free of charge. And so once again, I'd like to thank Joost for asking me to do this video. And with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you for joining me.